Houses just got cheaper. Buyers will save thousands. Imminent market crash in 2022. No wait, 2023. No wait, 2024. What do these headlines all have in common? Well, they are simply not true. Welcome back to my channel. I am glad you are here, and I am sure that you have all heard about the big National Association of Realtors, or the NAR, that you've heard their news this week and some of the absolutely sensationalized and misinformed headlines, and we will get to that. But first, business as usual, let's talk about what is going on here in the Boise housing market this spring and your market update. Well, sorry clickbait YouTubers, the housing market has not crashed, and in some sectors of the Boise housing market, home prices are actually going up. I know, not the news many people want to hear with the interest rates holding on, but it's true. So just as expected for the early spring housing market, March 1st hit, the sun came out with lovely weather, and the buyers are ready to jump in, except there is not much to jump into. Our inventory in most sectors of the Boise housing market is incredibly low. So yes, due to the typical early spring market, we are getting more listings, but unfortunately not enough for the demand, and multiple offers are back. So this past week, the feds announced that they are holding the Fed rate, which in turn will prevent the mortgage rates from dropping anytime soon. They are still saying that maybe later this year they will drop, but not for this spring or early summer market. That is continuing to keep sellers trapped in their homes by rates that they don't want to give up, those 3% rates for a 7% rate. Or maybe they couldn't even afford that if they wanted to. And on the new construction side of things, as I pointed out in last year's market update videos, builders pulled significantly fewer new permits last year, and that is now evident in this spring's low new construction inventory. But even with the high rates, cash buyers and buyers who can afford the payment on a mortgage with a higher rate, well, they are ready to go and very frustrated with our lack of inventory. I have had a couple of buyers in the past few weeks come to look for homes, and we literally only have 2 or 3 houses to see once they narrow it down to what they want. If they are homes that have been on the market for a while, then there is a reason, like those homes are overpriced, or they have too much deferred maintenance, or they have some other undesirable feature. And if they are new to the market and they're priced well and they're ready to go, they are getting multiple offers. Now, so far, people are being cautious and trying very hard not to push the over asking prices up too much. So on an average priced home around $600,000, over asking prices may be going $5,000 to $10,000 over. And we had a good little run through the winter this year where sellers were willing to accept offers with home sale contingencies, but with the return of multiple offers, making an offer contingent on selling your home will put you at a very large disadvantage in most cases. And let's revisit what's going on with builders and their incentives and how that indicates a shift in our market. So last year in 2023, in the first 6 months of the year, we saw a huge increase in sales of homes in the $400,000 to $500,000 price range, which is just a bit below our area's median sales price. And because of that, home builders like our local CBH, they were not offering incentives, and they were willing to do very little in the way of closing cost contributions in early 2023. However, last spring, we saw fewer sales in the $800,000 and above price range. So builders like our local Boise Hunter Homes, they had great incentives early last year. What was happening was all of those buyers who did not have extra money to pay over asking price in 2022, they were getting into the market since the competition was less in 2023. So we had lots of VA and FHA buyers, and buyers over that $800,000 price or so. If they were getting financing, they were hesitating due to those new high rates. And if they were cash buyers, they were also hesitating to see if the housing market would hold or not. But this year, even in just these first 4 months, it is kind of flip-flop from the buyer profile of 2023. What has been happening this year is that many people in that $400,000 to $500,000 price range, they just can't afford the house payments with the 7% rates. So our local builders like CBH are keeping their incentives to move inventory by helping their ideal buyer to buy down that rate. While we have builders of homes over the $700,000 mark or so, they have gotten rid of all of their incentives, and in some cases, they're raising their prices. And really, it isn't that demand is going crazy right now like in 2022, but buyers who can afford the more expensive homes, mostly cash buyers, but still some are getting financing, well, they are tired of waiting and are feeling more confident in the market. They're more motivated to get the heck out of Dodge and into Idaho, and combined with that, the inventory is so very low for this price point. And because it is so low, many buyers are going to have to turn to doing a new construction build job to get a house. And builders are being very calculated about how many lots they release. Many don't have a lot of new phases opening up, so there is low inventory on the builder options as well. So I expect this trend to continue into the early summer. One advantage of having a YouTube channel is that I speak with many people in the early stages of their planning a move to Boise, so I can predict pretty well what is coming in the way of buyer demand. And definitely, the majority of the people I'm talking to who are preparing to move here this summer, they're looking at the higher price point and they will be facing the low inventory issue. So of course, we are happy to help you navigate that, but just pack some patience and be prepared to consider new construction, which if you are an out-of-state buyer who cannot be here in person, we help people just like you through the new construction process all the time. So switching gears now, I really don't want to get too into the weeds with this whole NAR settlement, but as a lot of you ask my opinion on this, I will just say, please think for yourselves and don't believe what the media is saying without thinking it through. Unfortunately, they have so many false and misinformed headlines right now. The crux of the lawsuit is fixed commissions, which real estate commissions have never been fixed. And the crux of the media cry is that through this settlement, it will make homes cheaper and therefore more affordable for buyers. I did read the entire 107-page settlement, and I will link that below for you. The most important part is the changes that will take place, and that is in section H, number 58. And by the way, as a side note, the terms of this settlement will end 7 years after it gets put into practice. So in our current system, a seller signs an agreement with the listing agent. And in that agreement, it is outlined that the listing brokerage will receive a certain percent. And that seller will agree that a certain percent will be shared with the buyer's agent as compensation for bringing the buyer to the home. So because right now, both buyer's agents and listing agents' commissions get paid out of the seller's proceeds, the gist of this new proposed settlement is that the seller does not have to pay the buyer's agent's commission out of their proceeds. Now, let me be clear, the sellers never did have to pay the buyer's agent a commission, but if they didn't, they would risk putting themselves at a severe competitive disadvantage. And they probably still will risk that disadvantage going forward if they don't pay the buyer's agent. So the media is spinning it that since sellers can now offer the buyer's agent nothing, which again, they always could have done that before, then home prices will drop and it will make homes more affordable for buyers. So let's think for ourselves for a minute here using our own knowledge and experience, and I'll share how I think this will go. All of our current home prices are appraised with both agents' commissions wrapped into that appraisal. Builders have many build jobs under contract and they want to protect the future appraisals of their buyers' homes. Sellers and builders will not just suddenly drop their prices by 2 or 3% since they don't quote unquote have to pay the buyer's agents anymore. Right now, if you go to a builder and you are not represented by a buyer's agent, you pay the same price for a home and the builder does not pass any kind of that discount on to you. And largely because that would negatively impact appraisals on build jobs that are underway. Similarly, if, as a listing agent, I have negotiated with the seller a lower commission and they choose to pay a buyer's agent a smaller commission split, they do not lower the home price to offset that. The sellers just earn more money. And now that is all well and good for the seller and that helps them on the next home purchase. But clearly that savings, that does not get passed on to the buyer. And currently, buyer's agents know how much the seller agreed to pay them on their listing agreement because that number is put on the MLS, as well as it is out there for the public to see on public websites. Contrary to what the NPR story I heard said, they said that agents were sharing commissions with a little wink and a nod and behind closed doors, and it's all very secretive. No, it's not. It's literally on the public websites for anyone to see, and it is agreed to in contracts. And here's the kicker. According to the proposed settlement, what the seller is willing to pay the buyer's agent can no longer be disclosed on the MLS, which blows my mind on how this is going to help transparency. So, under the proposed settlement, we can try to negotiate that the seller will offer a concession to the buyer to cover the buyer's agent's fee, or there are a few other ways to try to get it covered outside of the buyer coming up with the extra money to cover the fee. But ultimately, my big concern is that this will become even more of a pay-to-play game if sellers don't offer some sort of a way to cover the buyer's agent commission, making it even harder for our first-time home buyers, our VA and FHA buyers to purchase. So when this settlement is agreed upon, we will see changes in our contracts and forms to address the language. We will still have negotiable commissions, as we do now. We will still have representation agreements, as we do now. But buyers will not save money, and home prices will not suddenly be cheaper because of it. So, my friends, stay vigilant on seeing things as they really are, and we are going to stay focused on business as usual, providing the highest level of service to all of our clients, and continue to provide you with quality information about living in and moving to the beautiful Boise area. We've got so much information for you on the YouTube channel, so check out all of my videos. There's all kinds of tours of the towns and everything about Boise you need to know. Head over to the website at summerastonrealestate.com to contact us there and to find free downloads like a relocation guide. Sign up for our monthly newsletter, and of course, you can follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.